This week on SUTV Sports, a legendary broadcaster retires. Fenway Park opens up to voting on Election Day, and later we introduce two brand new segments, Women in Sports and Top 3. Stay tuned because you won't want to miss this episode of SUTV Sports. The Raiders have been working hard to get in shape for next season. SUTV's Patrick Ramsdale has the details.
Ship athletes have moved one step closer to seeing the field this spring. Since the beginning of the semester, athletes have been taking part in voluntary athletic-related activities, also known as VERA. However, teams have recently been granted the ability to take part in counted athletic-related activities. One big attraction of Cara for athletes is that they're finally allowed to use more of the team's equipment, such as shooting a basketball, like Dom Sleva told me.
Being able to shoot is really a bonus for us right now because we know everything that's going on. Our AD's been really pushing for us to be able to have the court, so we're really happy that we're able to shoot and hopefully practicing.
Athletes will still be spending a lot of time in the gym, however, with Coach Kerstetter and his strength and conditioning team. Kerstetter told me what adjustments had to be made to keep the Raiders in the gym.
We have some social distancing placards, and we're using some of the lines we have here to create social distancing, as well as masks have to be in place. And then we have to clean at the end of every single lift. We have foggers, we have Clorox solutions, and those types of things that after every single lift we go through and we meticulously clean everything to make sure that we mitigate any type of spread.
While lifting is important, Kerstetter knows that the athletes have been hoping for more.
Moving towards the CARE activities allows for them to have some semblance of activity with the sport that they love to do and get to play the sport that they love to do.
The 2020 season is still up in the air, but whenever the Raiders take the field again, just know they'll be ready. For SUTV Sports, I'm Patrick Ramsdale.
The PSAC still plans to return to play in the spring, but a date has not been confirmed. States across the country are beginning the process of early voting for this year's presidential election. Boston baseball fans got a chance to celebrate democracy and their love for baseball as Fenway Park opened its doors to early voters. SUTV's Adam Beam has more.
As we now enter the final 2 weeks before Election Day, many states are gearing up for early voting, and across the country we're seeing mile-long lines and hours of waiting, all to make sure that your voice is heard in what's sure to be a crucial election. While Boston's baseball season may be over, the historic Fenway Park is still proving to be useful to all Bostonians, as the nation's oldest ballpark was used this past weekend as a voting venue. Hundreds of people have now casted their early ballots, and while fans were not allowed in the stands, many still enjoyed being in the historic ballpark at all. One Boston fan and Red Sox fanatic, Rob Cohen, who hasn't been in the park all season due to COVID-19 restrictions, told reporters, quote, "It was two things I like a lot, democracy and baseball." While Boston had early voting available until October 30th, Fenway was only opened as a voting venue this past weekend, and it was one of the 10 voting locations in the Boston area. Boston Red Sox spokeswoman Zeneb Curran said, quote, "This is the first time we've done early voting or opened up Fenway Park for any kind of voting in the city of Boston, so we're really excited to be partners with the city on this. We just want people to exercise their right to cast their ballot." The park also encouraged masks and provided masks to anyone seeking them. However, no one was turned away for not wearing one, as the goal by the Red Sox team was to make sure that everyone had a chance to cast their votes early. The park proved to be one of the safer venues for voting so far, with its massive size as well as the perk of being outdoors. And it will be interesting to see if other sports venues adopt this opportunity as the election season rages on. For SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
Don't forget to tune into SUTV News on November 3rd for election coverage and updates. Longtime hockey broadcaster Mike Emmerich is hanging up the headset and heading for retirement. Better known as Doc Emmerich, he retires at the age of 74 after nearly 50 years of broadcasting professional hockey. During his career, he broadcasted 45 Game 7s in the playoffs, 22 Stanley Cup Finals, 14 All-Star games, and much more. Doc is the man behind the voice of many iconic calls during big games. Let's take a look at one of his most famous calls.
But they are devoting all their energy to this game, both teams. Off the tie-up, it is fair, but it came back to Yandel. Drive by Girardi to save. Rebound, score! Step on! In overtime, the Rangers move on to Tampa.
Everyone here at SUTV News wishes Doc a great retirement. Week 7 of college football had some great moments with top 3 matchup between SEC rivals in Georgia versus Alabama and a huge upset with South Carolina beating Auburn at home. SUTV's Nolan Hoffman has the highlights.
Biggest game of the weekend, top 3 matchup, Alabama, Georgia, Mac Jones, play action, first play from scrimmage, and it is going to be intercepted by Georgia right off the bat. Ensuing possession, Stenson Bennett, he's going to drop back here, and it's going to be tipped and intercepted by Alabama. And just like that, this game is off to a very sloppy start. Ensuing possession, Mac Jones, 1st and 10 for Alabama. He's going to drop back, and he's going to find John Mechie for the touchdown, 7-0. So, 1st and goal, Georgia. Bennett's going to hand it off here to Zamir White, and he's going to take it in the end zone. Georgia ties it up. Next up, Mac Jones, play action here, down 17-10, and Devontae Smith is going to catch it, touchdown Alabama. Next up, Georgia, 3rd and goal right before halftime. Bennett's going to find Burton for the touchdown, and Georgia takes the lead. 1 second left, and a 52-yard field goal for Alabama before the half, and Will Reichert's going to send it through. So, 2nd and 9, 3rd quarter, Mac Jones, play action. He's going to drop back, and he's got Jalen Waddle, the 40, the 30, the 20, and the 10, and nobody's going to catch him. Touchdown, Alabama. Alabama with the ball back, 1st and goal, and Harris is going to take it in the end zone. Alabama takes an even further lead. So, Alabama, 2nd and 9, trying to put this game out of reach. Mac Jones is going to find Devontae Smith. It was a great catch here. And Alabama's going to win this game 41-24. And Georgia chokes another big game. So, next up, probably the upset of the day. 2nd quarter, 41 seconds left to go until halftime. Auburn up 16-7. And Colin Hill's going to take it in the end zone by himself. And South Carolina will pull closer. It's going to be 16-14. So Auburn with the ball back, 3rd quarter, 3rd and 4. Bo Nix is going to be incomplete here to Seth Williams. And after the play, Seth Williams and Bo Nix get into it. A disagreement, not on the same page. 2nd and goal, South Carolina with the ball back. It's going to be a free play here. Colin Hill to the end zone. And Shee Smith makes a great catch. And South Carolina is going to take the lead. So, 3rd and 7, Auburn down by 1. Bo Nix is going to throw it to the sideline. It's going to be picked off by J.C. Horn, and he's going to take it inside the 10-yard line. And that is Bo Nix's 3rd interception of the game. 1st and goal, South Carolina trying to capitalize on the interception. And Kevin Harris is going to stroll into the end zone. And South Carolina is going to widen their lead and would eventually go on to win this game 30-22. And it's their first win against the Auburn Tigers since joining the SEC in 1992. With SUTV News, this is Nolan Huffman.
Week 8 coming up this week is a significant one since it's finally the return of the Big Ten Conference, with games featuring Nebraska versus Ohio State and Indiana versus Penn State. NASCAR visited Kansas Speedway this weekend, leaving just 3 races left on the season. SUTV's Jacob Pitts has more.
The Xfinity Series was the best race out of the 3 races held this weekend at Kansas Speedway, with plenty of drama and action for the fans. Here's a restart just 15 laps into the race, and oh boy, 4 wide for the lead. It doesn't quite work. The 22 of Austin Cindric gets loose, makes contact with the 9 of Noah Gragson. They go around, they make contact. This brings out the caution, as leader Ross Chastain was barely able to make it by without hitting the wall as the 9 and 22 continued to beat and bang down the backstretch. The rest of the field slams on the brakes, and somehow they all miss it. Both Gragson and Cindric still in the playoffs, fighting to make it to Phoenix in a position to win the title, but that crash hurts both of their chances. Meanwhile, championship contender Chase Briscoe smoked the field, winning the first 2 stages with ease. Now 28 laps to go here on the restart, and they go not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 wide, 2 cars on the apron. This isn't going to work, and it's not. The 7 of Justin Allgaier gets into the 21 of Anthony Alfredo. He goes, hits the wall, up and over he goes. The 18 of Riley Herbst, the 68 of Brandon Brown, and the 44 of Tommy Joe Martins also get collected in the crash. Alfredo would eventually climb out of that wrecked race car with a great run turned upside down, quite literally, in the 21 machine. But nobody could stop that 98 car of Chase Briscoe, who would go on to win the race, his 9th win on the season, locking himself into the championship 4. For SUTV News, I'm Jacob Hitz.
NASCAR goes to Texas Motor Speedway this weekend. The Xfinity Series races Saturday afternoon, while the Truck and the Cup Series race on Sunday. This week, we introduce a new segment for SUTV Sports, where we highlight a female athlete on the national level. And for our first segment, SUTV's Adam Beam tells us about Olympic high jumper Priscilla Frederick Loomis.
At the age of 16, Priscilla Frederick Loomis had her heart shattered when she was told she was too heavy at a New York modeling agency. However, Loomis took these 2 words that hurt her so much to make a name for herself, and that name was going to be made through track and field. Loomis pursued a career in track and field throughout her academic career, but continued to struggle with the too heavy comment. By college, Loomis was dealing with an eating disorder, even asking an athletic trainer how she can be anorexic and an athlete. This was also instigated by the struggles of other women around her to meet an unhealthy standard. As the National Eating Disorders Association study shows, more than 1/3 of female athletes reported attitudes of anorexia, and that eating disorders affect 62% of female athletes. Back in 2015, after Loomis's appearance at the Outdoor World Championships in Beijing, she was called, quote, thick and heavy by her teammates from Antigua and Barbuda. And that was after she had just competed on the track. 3 years later, she placed 5th in the high jump at the Commonwealth Games in Australia. She went to a bar to grab a beer to celebrate when a bar patron recognized Loomis from the TV and went on to tell her that, quote, if you would drop a few kilos, you would have performed better. Despite these disheartening statistics and hurtful comments, this has not stopped Loomis from pursuing her goals of Olympic gold. And as of right now, she is a 2-time Pan American Games silver medalist, as well as competing in the 2016 Olympics. Loomis also holds the national record for high jump in her home country of Antigua and Barbuda. She also owns a cleaning business as of 2016 to help fund her Olympic goals. In an interview, Loomis also spoke of her goals as an actress once she's all done with track and field, and says her dream roles would be Wonder Woman, Captain Marvel, or Storm from the X-Men. When reflecting on her career so far, Loomis has this to say: right now, at 31, I look back and realize that my story is incredible. My pain is valid, my perception is valid, and my success is valid. I'm not just another strong black woman. I'm a powerful voice that won't allow other opinions to weigh her down or belittle herself. That's what makes me a winning athlete. Priscilla Frederick Loomis continues to make a name for herself in the athletic world and continues to prove her naysayers wrong. For SUTV News, I'm Adam Beam.
And finally tonight, we are going to wrap up with a brand new segment where we highlight the top plays from all over the globe and right here in Chip. Kicking it off at number 3. We have the Dodgers and the Braves National League Game 7. Freddie Freeman cranks one that looks like it's gone, but Mookie Betts leaps and snags it to keep it a 1-score game. Look at this again. The 5'9" outfielder shows his hops and saved the game for the Dodgers. Number 2 now. Houston Astros and Tampa Bay Rays in the American League Final. Carlos Correa up to bat and slams one. But will it be enough? Yes, it is. Carlos Correa with the walk-off home run in Game 5 to force Game 6, and the Astros live to fight another day. And finally, our top play of the week at number 1. We have the Dolphins and the Jets late in the 4th quarter. And look at that. Is that a catch? Yes. It's Marcus May with a catch bobbling all around, and he gets the interception. What a play and what a moment. If you're looking to be featured on next week's episode of Top 3, send in your clips to our Instagram account at SUTV.sports. And with that, we'll be signing off from this episode of SUTV Sports. I'm Mackenzie Mitchell. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at SUTV News, and check out our website at sutvnews.org. See you next Monday for the next episode of SUTV Sports.